Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're very welcome. This is one over 40-year-old trying to get to the world of eventing with two ex-race horses. Take a seat, grab a coffee. Let me catch you up on what's been happening with my girls.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers, don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day.
I have two very different ex-race horses in lots of ways. They're different in personality, they're different in the way that you have to ride them. And I thought for this week's video, I've had a few people on Instagram mention about Molly and how I get her warmed up in the schooling sessions, because she is very behind the leg. And then I've also had people ask with Poddy, she's camera shy today, how I get her to chill out because she is very in front of the leg. So I thought I would take you on a little warm-up schooling session and explain the differences between the two, how I get them to work very different, and the end game. So that's the main bit of the video today, but let me catch you up a little bit on what's been happening with Pod. Here is my beautiful P is her name, but she gets called Pod a lot, Poddy, that kind of thing. So what has been happening with Poddy? When I last left you, I think, with Pod, we were doing groundwork, back to basics. She'd become quite explosive out hacking, she'd become explosive in the school, and she just needed a bit of a reset. So while I was doing the groundwork, I noticed with Pod that something was just off. Like, she was really good and she was really relaxing and getting into that and finding her inner chill. However, when it came to her neck, so there's a technique that you can do that was shown to me with Mo, and it helped him massively, in where you run your hand up the neck, you get to a certain point and you just add a tiny little bit of pressure and the head lowers and they find a relax. So in times of stress or when they're feeling anxious, you can use this technique and it usually makes them really, really calm. So I thought, oh, I'll try that with Pod. However, when I started this with Pod, this is what happened. You can see she's incredibly tense. She's incredibly giving a response to me that was like a pain response. Hi, Poddy. I'll explain what that is about in a minute. It was a bit like a pain response. So I thought, do you know what? Let's get a full checkup done. Let's get her to the vet. Let's get x-rays and just make sure that she is absolutely a-okay. Because one of the things I would hate to do is to train a horse or to push a horse when they're in a degree of pain. We have to be the voice for our animals because they don't have one. So when they're giving you signs, I'm very much like, there's something we need to look at with Pod. So she went for x-rays and everything, and she came back with actually a clean bill of health. Even her spinal x-rays were really good. Now that's quite, that's quite good for an ex-race horse, because a majority of them will have some form of kissing spine. She went all for that and she was absolutely fine. They believed that the problem in her neck was muscular and that she would really benefit from another physio session, and they recommended a really good physio that came out and released some of that, and she put it down to hay nets. So she basically said that, and the vets said this as well, like, hay nets are the devil, and the constant repetitive strain that they do with the pulling, and if I particularly put them up high, they had quite small holes because I'm concerned about ensuring they always have feed for ulcers, etc. So we removed the hay nets. She's got a physio program at the moment and she's back in full work. So this is my makeshift nose bag. It works really well. And it keeps the hair from going all over her bed, but she doesn't have to have that pulling motion, and she can eat with her head lower. So I'm going to put a little schooling session in when she got the all clear and she was allowed to be back in work, and it was a great day. And I think you'll see that actually she is a lot more relaxed in her work. There you go, Poddy is back in training. Hey girl. She's doing really well, and then like I say, we've got some carrot stretches to do. We do them on the daily. I'd like to say I do them every day, but that would be a big fat lie. I'm doing them at the moment 3 to 4 times a week, just because, you know, life, busy, work, all that jazz. So let's get back to the main part of this video, in that how do we ride different, or how have I been taught to ride different for different types of horses? So first off, let's start with Molly. Molly is what you would class as behind the leg, so she needs a very different warm-up to get her to start moving forwards into a nice kind of rhythm and understanding the aids. And you have to be with Molly very black and white.
So Molly is what you would class as behind the leg. She can be quite lazy in the school, and bearing in mind she's 4, so she's still working on what stop, go, left, right actually means. She's built up a lot in her frame now, and she can carry on the work. We're doing a lot of flat work at the minute with both girls, just to ensure that they are fit and ready before we do anything else. So what I start with Molly is I will come into the arena and I will start her on quite a long rein and walk her around. But while I'm walking, do a bit of flexion. So I will do at certain points 10-metre circles, 10 to 15 metre circles, and just getting her to start to listen to that inside leg to outside rein. And there you can see she's a little bit like, oh, are we going forward, Mum? And I have to say, no, we're just walking, my friend, at the moment. So then I'm just getting her to flex around my inside leg. Good girl. And ensuring that she understands what I am asking from her. Circles on both reins. What I'll start to do now is work on transitions, so lots of walk to trot transitions, and ensuring that she moves off as soon as I apply that leg to say let's go forward. If she doesn't, it's backed up by a little tickle of the dressage whip to say no, I asked you to move forward, and she does it really well. This actually has a fantastic effect on getting Molly really responsive. There you go. I mean, we had a walk to canter. Wrong, but not bad, bless her. With them two very simple techniques, you can see that Molly in the trot work now is listening. She's seeking down for a contact. Here I'm just going to continue on like a 15-metre circle for her. Molly needs a lot of flexion to get her hind end working. It's one of her weaknesses that I know of, and I have to work to that. And yeah, she's just absolutely forward and looking great. And this is just the starts of her canter work. I don't think she looks bad, to be honest. She's really quite balanced in her being, and I'm very pleased with how Molly has come back after her injuries. And there you can see, I think that's a really nice start of a working canter. Yeah, she did good. I was really pleased with her. And everything I will do on the other rein as well, and just making sure in her canter work that she is going forward and listening to the aids, and just them simple warm-up techniques. So the small circles to the walk to trot transitions really gets Molly in front of your leg and listening, and then which makes the rest of the schooling session just so pleasurable, and she gets more out of it.
Next up, we're back with Poddy. Totally different. Is she there? She's there. Totally different to her sister. Pod is very tense, a very hot horse, and she needs to learn to chill. So P particularly has quite a tense, stiff frame. The frame can come across as though it looks acceptable and that it looks quite flashy. The truth is Poddy's not working correctly. She's working very up through her neck and not using her back end at all. So with Pod, we have to have a very different technique to try and get her to go more long and low. This is Pod's video.
Here is Pod, who is totally different to Molly. She's more of a tense neck frame, and so a lot of the time with P I spend trying to get her to relax. She's very responsive to your aids. You don't need a lot of leg at all. She understands that as soon as you put your leg on, that is to move forward, and she's a little bit more flexible than Molly, to her left, to her right. She just is. She's a different makeup to Molly. She's a lot more compact. So here I'm with P, I will do a walk work and then trot. Here you can see I've put this in so you can see how she usually starts the schooling sessions. She's a bit fighty with when you're asking for a contact. Yes, peeps, she's had everything checked. There's nothing wrong with her. She's just got to learn and not try to avoid the contact. So here, this is how the schooling session usually starts, at quite a tense, uphill, argumentative kind of frame, not really wanting to work and stretch down. And with P, I have to put a lot of leg on. So we go back to the walk and I'm working on a long rein and just quite wide hands and asking her to seek that contact down. When I first started and somebody said to me, put them in a contact, I had no idea what that meant. So somebody explained it to me as what they class as the alternative sponge, which basically is, think you have a wet sponge in both hands and you are squeezing it to get the water out. And alternative means one hand and then the other, one hand and then the other. So we're not seesawing in the mouth. We are just applying that pressure. And, well, that's right or wrong. That's how I learnt it. And that's how I work with the girls. And here you can see I've got the wide hands again, just to give her a little bit of stability, asking and showing her how to put that neck down and into a more relaxed frame. And as she's working forward, I think you can agree that she is kind of relaxing into her work. It's all about the low energy for P. We keep it all on the low and really, really chilled. You can see it a lot there. Look, I'm asking, come on, mate, let's just stretch down. And she's responding really, really well. When I have her chilled in the walk, we move up to the trot work. I even like this frame even more now than when she first started. It's not perfect by any means, but she is in much of a more relaxed, not so much tense and overbent as sometimes you can go there. Look, when she goes a little bit overbent under the neck, that's not going to do her well. She's going to build muscles up in the very wrong areas. So there you go, that's really nice, P. She's just stretching down, then wide hands, leg on, and ensuring that you keep that contact so she's got something to work into, but applying the leg so she understands that we want her to move forward. And here I'm working on a 15 to 20 metre circle. And let's not come at me for my circle size. I don't have a trundle wheel, so I'm just working on, again, like I was with Molly, in that, there's a bit opinionated there, P, but to the inside leg to outside rein, and just trying to get her to move through her body a little bit and to flex round. And I think this is coming into a lovely, more relaxed frame for P, and she's understanding what I'm asking. And even there, look, I think that's so much better than when she started. And we're going to start a little bit of a canter work now. P's canter is not great at the minute. She's still learning. She wants to go exceptionally fast, and I'm having to get her to understand her stride and let her go, but not kind of like tank off with me. So here I've got a light seat. I'm just kind of not putting any pressure. I don't want any kind of, I've not asked for contact or anything like that. She literally wanted to go forward in a calm manner, and she's doing good. And then little walk to finish off. I always walk her for quite a bit afterwards to just remain that calm energy.
Hope you found that really useful. And if nothing else, it gave you a little update as to where the girls are in their training. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please like, comment and subscribe. And we're here every week. I'm here every Wednesday at 6 PM. And I'm going to also continue doing a little bit of the finance vlogs, because people really loved the how much do my horses cost. So I thought actually I could show you how much the equipment costs, my brands of equipment I like, and also how much competing costs too. There's lots of exciting things coming up. So cheers guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Don't forget, keep it real.
When I look at you like that, you lose it completely, losing track of space and time. I don't wanna go home looking for a reason.